How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to an episode here on Let's Build Twitter. As always, I'm Ethan, our unknown coder, your favorite underqualified senior software engineer. And as always, if you guys don't want access to a private repository, there's a link in the description down below that'll walk you through exactly how to gain access to that. Now, that being said, let's go and hop into what we're working on today. Today, we're going to go ahead and start working on this edit profile modal thing here, and we're going to see how far we get. Hopefully, we can go ahead and start filling things out. I don't know if we're going to be able to submit it or not, but this is probably going to be a little bit of a longer episode just because I have things condensed into creating this modal and making everything work. So we'll see how long it is, but we're going to try to push through. So that being said, let's go and hop in the code and get to work here. So we need to go ahead and open up our Explorer, and we're going to come up to our profile components, and we're going to go ahead and make an edit, profile modal, and then edit profile modal .tsx. I don't know if we need a CSS for this or not, because we're just going to be using the bottomless modal bar. So I'm not going to make a CSS at this time. Let's go and hop in here and get rid of this. Let's go ahead and import React from React as we do. And then we'll also go ahead and export const, and this will be edit profile modal, which is a react.function components with an arrow function. And all we're going to go ahead and do, is return, and this is going to return. We didn't really need to do parentheses here, but bottomless modal above our top bar. And in the top bar, let's go ahead and set up a top bar. We'll go ahead and work on that, I think, today. And then content, I don't know if we're going to get to today, but we'll see. Then we'll have our content. There we go. So this is what we're going to display whenever we click on edit modal. Now we need a way to actually open and display this. So let's hop into our modal slice. Inside our modal slice, let's go ahead and come down below here. We'll go ahead and say display edit profile, which is a Boolean. Okay. And we'll come down here and set the false by initial. So we'll go ahead and say display edit profile is equal to false. And then we'll go ahead and also set up our update display edit profile. If I were to do this again, I would just do like one reducer instead of all of these, but hey, it is what it is. So now we'll have an update display, and this is going to be edit profile. And then here we'll go ahead and have our state, and then we'll just go ahead and say state is equal to ... state, or display edit profile will be equal to not state dot display edit profile, and then we'll go ahead and return our state. And then we'll come down here and make sure we return this guy. So let's go ahead and return update display edit profile like so, and that is good and set up. So now let's go ahead and go into the profile to be able to actually open this guy. So now inside of our profile, we need to go ahead and come up here to where we have our other piece of the state, and let's just go underneath the following list. We'll say const and display edit profile is equal to use selector, and then we'll have our state root state. And then here we'll say state.modal, and then this is display edit profile. Terrific. So looks good. So now let's go ahead and come down. It says about line 46. So I'm guessing just here, and we'll go ahead and throw this in. So honestly, I think I want to at least throw it in here. So we'll go ahead and do this, and we'll see if this is a mistake or not, but we're going to go ahead and say display edit profile. And then we'll go ahead and have our edit profile modal. Doesn't take any props. Cool. So there's that. Now we need to go into the bottomless modal CSS really quick and make a small change. And then we'll go ahead and see if we can just make sure we open this and all of that good stuff, because I don't think we ever made it so whenever we click on it, it even opens. So I don't know if that's something that I forgot to add in or what. Let me just scroll down the code here a little bit. No, I just straight up forgot it. So also really quick, let's set up the dispatch to actually open this. So go ahead and say const and open edit modal or something. I don't remember what I called this, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and put in an react.mouse event, and I believe this is on an HTML. I don't know if this is on a button or a div. We'll have to look. Let's go down here to where we actually have our button. Oh, you know what? It's because we don't actually put it in here. It's going to go inside the profile top bar probably, I would imagine. Let's see. Yeah, because we don't actually have the edit button here, so that's why we don't have it in here. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. We'll have to come back and circle back to that. So let's first go ahead and do the style really quick before I forget, and then we'll come back and update the other component we need to. So let's go into our bottomless modal. So inside our bottomless modal, we need to go to the bottomless modal scroll box, and instead of height 100%, we're going to have height fit dash content, and then we're going to go ahead and have a max dash height of 650 px, like so. And then this is all going to stay the same. This is because it was getting a little bit too big and looking a little bit wonky and not scrolling properly whenever we were working on this edit modal. So that's good to go. And then so I don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the profile, and I want to go to, I think, this profile top bar or the profile follow section. And I want to go ahead and set that up so we can actually see what it's looking like. And so I don't forget, we might do this in a different episode, but it is what it is. So let's hop into the profile follow section. And inside the profile follow section, we have this guy. So we have handle close pop-up, but I think this is for something else. So let's go ahead and say const and handle open edit or something like that. I don't remember what we call it. E will be a react.mouse event on an HTML button element, like so. And then here we're going to go ahead and dispatch. So we need to set up dispatch, which we have. Terrific, dispatch. And this is going to be update display edit profile, like so. And then in here on this edit, we'll go ahead and throw an on click on here. We'll probably do this later on, and I just haven't scrolled far enough, but I want to be able to actually see as we're working on this guy. So I want to be able to open it. So now let's go ahead and hop into the front end and just take a quick look at what we're looking at. We're not going to see anything crazy right now, but it should at least pop up for us. So if we go ahead and just refresh for the kicks, click on edit profile, you see we have our top bar, we have a content. I really need to go through and fix this being able to scroll. I know how to do that now, I think, with some more practice and whatnot, but I just haven't gotten to it. Also, I think this guy's slightly poking through, so we might need to pull the Z index up a little bit more, but that's all just random things that we don't need to worry about at this moment. Let's go ahead and start working on the top bar and see how far we get today. So let's go ahead and open up our Explorer once again and go up to our components, and we'll go ahead and create the edit profile modal top bar slash edit profile modal top bar dot tsx, maybe. Okay, then let's also do the edit profile modal top bar dot css. Let's go and hop in here. Let's go and import our React from maybe React, and then let's also import our dot slash edit profile modal top bar dot css, and then we're going to go ahead and just export const, and this will be edit profile modal top bar. It's not going to take anything in, so let's have a react.fc arrow function, and then we'll go ahead and just return really quick a div, the class name equal to, and then this is going to be edit dash profile dash top dash bar, and then we can go ahead and set up our states and all of our actions and stuff. So we'll go ahead and start out the const token, and a logged in is equal to use selector, and this will go ahead and be state root state, and here we'll say state.user. Next up, we'll have const and then edit profile. I don't know why we need edit profile on this, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and grab edit profile equal to use selector, and this is going to be state root state, and this will be state.profile. Maybe we need the username or something. And then our const dispatch will be an app dispatch equal to use dispatch. Go ahead and bring that in. And then we're just going to have a const close modal equal to e react.mouse event on HTML button element. And then in here, we'll go ahead and say e.stop propagation. And then we'll go ahead and dispatch and update edit profile. Update display edit profile. And that should go ahead and close it for us. There we go. So it's looking good. And then now we have a save changes, it looks like. So const, so maybe this is where maybe the button's on the top of this, equal to e react.mouse event. It's been a long time since I've seen this code, unfortunately. So I don't remember exactly how it works or what it does. So we're kind of learning together as we go. So we have save changes. We're going to e.stop propagation. We're going to go ahead and check for if token and logged in. And then if that's the case, we're going to go ahead and dispatch and save user, maybe dispatch save user profile changes. There we go. Go ahead and set up this, and then user ID is going to be logged in .user ID. We'll go ahead and have nickname will be edit profile .nickname. We'll go ahead and have our bio, which will be edit profile like a type .bio. We'll go ahead and have our location, which will be edit profile .location, and our website site URL will edit profile .website URL, and then finally we'll have our token, and then we'll also go ahead and what are you crying about? Location and website URL. Let's see, string or null is not assignable to something. Oh, let's go ahead and say or that. There we go. And then finally we'll go ahead and dispatch our update. I'm trying to figure out, I think this also goes inside here, dispatch, and then update display edit profile, and go ahead and close the profile. So I guess we have the save button on the top bar instead of inside of the content, which is fine. So now let's go ahead and set up our top bar. It's pretty dang simple. So a div class name equal to, and then edit dash profile dash modal dash top dash left. And here we'll go ahead and have our div class name equal to, and this is edit dash profile dash modal dash close. And inside here we'll have a close icon for Material UI, sx equal to, height we'll go ahead and set up as 20px, and we'll have a width set up as 20px, and then it's just going to be the color black, so that's fine. And then here we'll go ahead and have an h3 under this, and this is going to have a class name equal to, and edit dash profile modal dash top baby dash header, and this is going to go ahead and say edit profile. And then outside of our modal left we'll have a button, the class name equal to edit dash profile dash save dash button. And then in here we'll go ahead and say save. Let's not forget to put our on click on this. So on click we'll go ahead and equal to save changes. So we won't be able to save any changes today, I don't think, but we should at least be able to see the button. So now let's hop into the style and deal with that. Also, we need to go ahead and on this close, we need to go ahead and put an on click on here for close modal like that. And why is on click mad? Oh, it's because this should be, I guess, a div. So let's go ahead and make this a div element. I thought it was a button, but I guess we used a div. It's still mad. There we go. Cool. So let's hop into the CSS. Inside the CSS, this should be somewhat quick so we don't have too many classes here. So edit dash profile dash modal dash top. Here I have a width of 100%, of a height of 100%, and then we'll have a display of flex, a justify content, a space between. I have an align items in the center of a padding of 0 and 16px. Next we have our edit dash profile dash modal dash top dash left. Hopefully I spelled all these properly. Height 100%, and then display of flex. Whoops. We'll go ahead and justify content in the flex dash start and align items in the center. Next we'll go ahead and have our edit dash profile dash modal dash close. And here we'll have a height of 34px. We'll have a width of 34 maybe px. And then we'll go ahead and have a display of flex. We'll have a justify content in the center. We'll align items in the center, and a border, a border of none, but a border dash radius of 100%. Next up we have our hover. So .edit dash profile dash modal dash close colon hover, and here we just have a cursor, a pointer, and a background dash color of RGBA. And here we're going to go 0, 0, 0, 0.05. It's a little bit lighter. And then we'll have our dot edit dash profile dash modal top, maybe. I can't type. Header. So on our header, we're going to go ahead and have a margin of 0, have a padding of 0, and then a font dash size of 20px. And then we'll also go ahead and add a font dash weight of 600. And then now we'll have our save button dot edit dash profile dash modal dash save dash button. And I guess we just called it edit profile save button. I was not very consistent with the CSS on this one. I'm sorry. Height will be 32px. Width will be 66px. And then we'll have a color of white and a background, background dash color of black. And then we'll have a border of none, but a border dash radius, maybe radius of 16px. And then finally we'll have our edit dash profile, I cannot type, oh my goodness, dash button, I guess it's save dash button, and then colon hover. So here we'll go ahead and once again have our cursor a pointer, and then we'll have a background dash color of RGBA 0,0,0 and then 0.9. So that is going to be all of our CSS. Let's go ahead and throw this into our bottomless modal instead of our edit profile modal. And let's see if we completely goofed and broke everything and didn't get the CSS right. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. And then here, this will be edits profile modal top bar. It doesn't take anything in. Go ahead and close that off and save it, and that should look good. So now let's just go ahead and take a look at what it looks like before we start implementing the modal content. So now, as you can see, it doesn't look like the display flex is working. So I typoed something. Let's see here. So we have edit profile top bar. I think I missed the modal part. Let's go and double check this. So let's hop into the top bar. So here, edit profile top bar. What did I call this in the CSS? Edit profile. This should be modal. And I literally just didn't type anything, right? Modal top is what I typed. Let's check the CSS and let's see. Edit profile modal top. Yes, let's just go ahead and see if that looks better. There we go. It looks better. We have this guy. Looks like there should be a little bit of a gap here. It looks pretty close to me. I don't have a gap on it, or I did actually have a gap on it. I missed it. So let's throw a gap on this guy, and I think that should be good. So underneath our padding, or this left, actually, I just forgot a gap. So let's go ahead and throw a gap on this of about 32px. Let's take one last look at it and make sure it looks good. There we go. I think that looks a little bit better. So now let's go ahead and start working on our content. If we click save, it'll close, but it won't have anything to save right now. So I'm not going to waste my time on that. Let's just go ahead and start working on the content and see what we get. And then maybe this episode will be updating stuff. Maybe next episode will be updating stuff. So let's hop back in the code here and get to work. So let's go and open up our Explorer. Let's go ahead and make an edit profile modal. And then this is going to be content / edit profile modal content.tsx. Then make an edit profile modal content.css. Let's hop into the tsx file. Let's go and import React from React. We'll also go and import our /, and this is edit profile modal content.css. And then let's go and export, maybe export const, and this is going to be edit profile modal content react.fc. It's not going to take in anything, so we'll go ahead and just do this, and then we'll go ahead and return. And inside here we'll have a div, the class name equal to, and this is edit profile modal content. I actually did a better naming scheme this time. Let's go and set up our state. So const, we'll have our profile user, we'll have our edit profile, and this is going to be equal to use selector. Inside here we'll have our state and root state, and then we'll go ahead and say state.profile, and then we'll also go ahead and have const change profile user values is going to be equal to an e react.change event, And this is going to be on an HTML input element that we're going to have to set up in a little bit. And here we'll go ahead and dispatch. We need to set up our dispatch. I don't know how I missed this. Const dispatch will be an app dispatch equal to use dispatch. I really was slacking on setting up these episodes. I'm sorry. There's just so much code. But we'll have an update edit profile here. And then here we'll go ahead and say property will be e.currentTarget and then .name, and then our value will be e.currentTarget and then .value. So that should be good. I don't know why it's complaining. I think it's just confused. So we're not going to really get too far on this. We're going to do some styling. We're going to do a couple things, but there's a lot of like input changes and stuff that we need to make. So we're not going to be able to fit all of that in. We're primarily just going to go ahead and get it looking pretty this episode, and then we'll go through and get the rest of the stuff in. So let's go ahead and get a div going here. A div with a class name equal to edit dash profile, maybe dash modal dash banner, and then we're gonna have a style on this, and then inside the style we're gonna have a background, maybe dash image colon. We're gonna have a profile user question mark dot, and then banner picture question mark. If that's the case, it's gonna be URL, and then parentheses, quotes, and then $ curly brace, and profile user dot banner picture dot image URL, and then otherwise we're going to go ahead and just have nothing. So that's going to be our style for that. And then below this guy, and let's make sure we close off this div so I don't break anything. So let's see here, close this div, cool. And then below this div we're going to have another div. Actually inside this div we're going to have another div with a class name equal to edit dash profile, and then dash modal edit dash image. And then here we need an SVG, so edit, or this is called add image SVG. We'll go ahead and grab that a little bit later. And then we also need a close icon below this. So let's go ahead and say div class name equal to edit dash profile dash modal dash, this one is also edit dash image. It's going to be the same size and everything, so let's go ahead and reuse it. Close, go ahead and grab close, sx equal to, and here we'll have height is going to be, whoops, maybe 22px. We'll have our width will be equal to 22px, and then we're going to go ahead and have a color, which we'll go ahead and set to white. Go and close that. Cool, so there is that guy. And then outside of this, we're going to go ahead and have another div with a class name equal to, and this is going to be edit dash profile dash profile. I actually use modal in this one. Modal, there we go, dash profile dash picture. Okay, and here we're going to do the same thing. Style equal to, we'll have a background, maybe ground image. Oh my goodness, colon. And then we'll have profile user question mark dot, and then profile picture question mark. If that's the case, we'll do backticks URL. Go ahead and do closing parentheses and quotes, $ curly brace, profile user, and then dot profile picture, and then dot image URL, and then otherwise we'll do nothing again. Actually, otherwise we are doing backticks URL, and I'm gonna have to grab this. I don't think I imported this. $ curly brace, and then default PFP. We need to go ahead and grab that, and then inside this div we'll go ahead and have a div, the class name equal to, and edit dash profile dash modal dash edit dash image. And then once again we're gonna go ahead and need our add image SVG like so. And then now we need to go ahead and bring in that default PFP. So we're gonna go and import, and then default PFP from, and this is going to be from our assets. So let's go ahead and go all the way back to where our assets are, which I believe should be here, assets slash, and this is going to be like default underscore PFP.webp, I believe. and I'll have to double check that, but it looks like it imported, so that seems fine. So now we need to go ahead and go through and grab this add image SVG. So let me go ahead and pull up Twitter and find it really quick. So before we grab it, let's go ahead and open up our Explorer. Let's go into our components, go into our SVGs, go ahead and add image svg.tsx. Okay, we'll go ahead and import, and this will be our SVG props from our global interfaces. Go and export default and function, and this is going to be add image svg. It's going to take in props, which are svg props, and then go ahead and return. And then let's go ahead and show you where to grab this from. Okay, so let's go ahead and inspect. Whoops, I messed up. Let's go ahead and inspect, and it's going to be this little image icon right here. So let's go ahead and hover over this svg. Let's copy the element, and we can get out of this, and let's go ahead and paste it in. I'm going to go and clean this up and be right back. Looking good. Let's go ahead and get rid of this class at the end of this, as well as the style. It looks like the style was maybe slightly not white, or it is all white. That's fine. Okay, so now we're going to have, we're going to have our height is going to be equal to props.height. If I could type, that'd be terrific. We'll have our width equal to props.width. And then we'll go ahead and have our fill equal to props.color, question mark, props.color. Otherwise, it'll just be pound 000, which will be black. Let's hop back into our edit profile content now. Now all we need to do is go ahead and add this in. So here we have our add image SVG. Let's go ahead and add an add image SVG. We're going to set our height, our height equal to 22. Set our width equal to 22. We're going to go ahead and set our color equal to white. Go ahead and close that guy, and we're going to do the same thing down here. So let's go ahead and delete all of this. We'll have our add image SVG, and then here our height will be 22. Our width will equal to 22, and our color will equal to white. Cool, that looks good. Now the only thing we have left to do is go ahead and style what we have in here, make sure it's not broken, and then add it into our modal. The next episode we'll go through and add in all of the inputs, which is going to be fun. So let's go ahead and hop into the CSS. And here we'll go ahead and set up an edit, profile, modal, content. Width will be 100%. Our height, will just be fit-content, whatever we need to take up. And we'll have a padding on the bottom, which I don't understand why they have a padding bottom, but this is how Twitter does it, about 64px, just following how Twitter does. Edit dash, and we'll have profile, modal, banner. And here we'll go ahead and say width is 100%. We're going to go ahead and have a height of 193px, and then a background, background maybe dash color, and this is going to be pound E1. Let's make it uppercase E1. I spelled something wrong. E8, ED. Now it's fine. Okay. We're going to have a background. These are the hardest ones to type for whatever reason. Repeat of no dash repeat. We're going to have a background dash and then position. It's going to be center, center and center. And then we're going to have a background size. So background dash, dash size. And this is going to be cover. And next we're going to have a display of flex. We're going to justify content in the center. We're going to align items in the center. We're going to have a small gap between them, about 24px. Next we'll have edit dash profile modal dash edit image. And hopefully I typed all this right because it's going to be fun debugging it. So width will be 42px. We'll have a height of 42px, and then we'll display flexes. So display flex. We'll justify content in the center. We'll align items in the center, and we'll have a background color. So background, if I could type, that'd be cool. Background color of RGBA. We're going to go 0.75, and then we're going to have a border of none. If I could type, border none, and then a border radius, radius of 100%. Next up, we just have a hover. So dot edit dash profile, and then modal dash edit dash image colon hover. Bear with me here, we're almost done. Cursor will be pointer, and then we'll go ahead and have a background dash color of RGBA 0,0,0.5. It'll go a little bit lighter. Then we'll have dot edit dash profile, maybe profile, modal profile dash picture. In here, we'll go ahead and have a margin, and this is going to be a little bit funky. Negative 45 px. We're going to move it up a little bit. 0, 0, whoops, 0, 0, 15 px. So it's a little bit funky, but it is what it is. Height on this guy will be 113 px. We'll have a width on it of 113 px. And we'll have the same thing, background dash color, and I might just go ahead and steal it from up here because it's going to be the exact same. It'll save us some time. So background color, background repeat, background size, same thing, display flex, all of this stuff. So let's go ahead and grab this, and I'm just going to save ourselves some time and embarrassment, and I didn't copy it. I clicked the wrong button. Let me go ahead and try again. So copy all of this, and then let's go ahead and paste it in. Paste this guy. Okay, so we have a background color E1 E8 UD, background repeat, no repeat, background position, center, background size cover, display flex, justify content center, align item center, and then we're going to have a border of none and a border radius of 100%. So right now we don't have any profile picture or banner, so we're not going to be able to see anything in there, but we should at least be able to see like the backgrounds and stuff. And then let's go ahead and hop into our edit profile modal and get that set up. So now instead of our edit profile modal, we can go and throw in our edit profile content. Again, it's not going to be complete yet, but it is what it is. Edit profile content. Let's go ahead and do that and save it. And then let's just see if we get anything when we open up the modal. And then maybe I can figure out how to add a banner and profile picture in there and get that working as well. So you can see we have our edit. This actually turned out pretty well. You can see we have our default PFP, we have our image, and then eventually you'll be able to click on these guys and actually open it up and do that. That's going to be what we do, not next episode, but an episode later on. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. It's getting a little bit long. It's not as long as I was expecting, so that's good. If you guys did enjoy, please like, comment, and subscribe. Everything helps out here with the YouTube algorithm. And then if you do want to see where we start from absolute scratch to get to the point we are now, there's going to be a playlist in the end card right over here that'll walk you through exactly how we got to this point from starting from absolute scratch. So with that being said, I hope you all have a great day. This has been Ethan Encoder, and I'll see you all in the next video.